Hey, I'm Eric Gagne, and you're listening to the Blue Review. Hi, I'm Yasser Pui, and you're watching the Blue Review.
Kind of a melancholy Bindi on a Thursday morning. Welcome everybody to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcas Grant. That is Greg Bergman. We'll talk about it, Greg, but that's pretty much my analysis.
4 of the last 5, Marcus. 4 of the last 5, and still have tied for the best record in all of baseball. So it's fine, but it's not all fine. And what we do here is we nitpick.
So we will nitpick the Dodgers 3-0 loss to the Giants last night. But first, want to let you know that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. We're taking off. Learn more about all the incredible changes happening now at LAX by going to lawa.org/ESPN. So, where to begin? There are a lot of things that sort of went sideways last night, but I think the simplest analysis of what happened yesterday was that for the second night in a row, the offense just didn't show up, Greg. I mean, in 2 games, 1 run, 6 hits, that's not going to win you a whole lot of ball games.
Not going to win you a whole bunch of ball games at all. And yeah, the offense has sputtered over the last 5 games. If you take out the game on Monday where they just went nuclear in Coors Field, the offense has not been good. And it's I get it, it's still early, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're going to be fine. It's early, April, whatever. It's not been good recently, and it's been all the way up and down the lineup. It's even Andy Pages, who was scorching hot, has not been good over the last 15 days. He has been a bit of a mess. Nobody's really hitting, and that includes Shohei Ohtani. Definitely not doing anything. Pages is what does he have here? 11 of his last 43 when he was on fire. Guys like Kyle Tucker, who I know we're going to talk more about, 10 for his last 49. Like, that's over the last 15 games. If you want to make it a little bit shorter, over his last 7 games, where that's what we're really talking about, Kyle Tucker's 5 for 23. Andy Pages is 3 for 19. They're just not hitting at this point. So having to and then when you go from Coors Field, this is what we talked about a little bit yesterday, go from Coors Field where you can hit, and then you go to a pitcher's park in Oracle. It's a whole different world, and it just screws with your whole setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And you go from maybe the best hitter's park in all of baseball to maybe the worst or one of the worst hitter's parks in all of baseball. There's definitely a noticeable difference there. I mean, you were going from being a mile up to sea level, playing, as Max Muncy might say, playing next to the ocean there in San Francisco. But even to your point, this team wasn't really hitting all that well in Colorado. So it seems as though they really have just collectively hit a slump at a bad time. Because even early when they weren't necessarily crushing the ball, there were always a couple of guys who were hot. You mentioned Andy Pages, who was on fire to start the season. They were getting contributions from the bottom part of the lineup, whether it was Ha-Seong Kim, Miguel Rojas, occasionally Alex Freeland. But the last 4 or 5 nights, excluding that Monday explosion, it just hasn't been there from anybody. And I guess might as well just rip this Band-Aid off now. Sayonara to Shohei Ohtani's on-base streak. It was fun while we knew you. But
I mean, he's not the greatest at everything in Dodgers. This is one thing that he'll be the second best at. And tied. Is that tied too? So.
Tied with Sean Green at 53 games. Right. It was an amazing run for Shohei in terms of this on-base streak. But hey, who's to say he can't start a new one and see how long that goes?
Absolutely, has plenty of other chances.
Plenty of other chances. So, but anyway, the Dodgers now 16-8. The Padres also lost last night to the Rockies. So both teams still tied atop the National League West. I don't know. Are we doing scoreboard and standings
No.
watching on April 23rd? Okay, cool.
I don't want to be like Dylan Hernandez, who's going off.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's a gut check.
They lost their lead. What's the date? April 23rd. Are we really talking about the loss of the lead? And they're still tied for that lead and still have tied for the best record in all of baseball. Like, what are we like? You're talking about loss of lead. What needs to change? Dave Roberts needs to light a fire under their ass. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's ridiculous.
I did, by the way, love Dave Roberts' response. I don't know if Dylan Hernandez was in the reporter scrum when he was asked about those sorts of things, and he basically was like, "It's not a gut check." He's like, "It's not really gut check.
It's gut check time on April 23rd."
He's like, "I'm not really concerned about what the Padres are doing." He's like, "I'm just focused on us. We're playing pretty good baseball overall." Which was the appropriate response to something like that.
He may lie, but he does know how to talk to reporters.
He does know how to talk to reporters. Let's keep going, though, with the offense. You mentioned Kyle Tucker. I know that, you have not named a villain yet. I don't know if you're quite ready to name one. But Kyle Tucker, man, it's frustrating is beyond the word at this point, because it just seems like when he's close to getting something going. I thought he was close against the Mets. He had a couple of hard hit balls. He hit the home run. He had that sort of game-winning bleeder the night before. I thought he was close. And now watching him since that Mets series, I don't think he's close anymore.
It doesn't feel close at all, actually. He feels like he's having completely non-competitive at-bats. When he's up, I don't feel like something good is going to happen. And maybe that's just because of bias, because it's been frustrating. But he's swinging at pitches he just, when he was in other places, did not swing at those pitches. He is striking out a massive amount. We've talked about his strikeout numbers 100 times already, and it's only been 24 games. There's a bunch of – he's just not looking good. His range in the outfield doesn't look that great either. There's things that he's doing, and you're like, okay, you're supposed to be a great a defensive outfielder. You haven't shown me that yet. You're supposed to be very patient at the plate and don't strike out very much. You haven't shown me that yet. You're supposed to have a bunch of power. I haven't seen any of that yet. So, yes, super early, and by the end of the year, I still believe that he will be there. But if you just look at him as what he's doing and his demeanor, it's frustrating to watch because he's not getting hits. He's not playing good defense. And when he's walking around the dugout, he looks like he's just got this sour look on his face at all times. What was it the other day? He was talking to someone. He was just like, "Yeah, I hit a home run." I don't know. It doesn't feel right just yet, and maybe it'll turn. But as of right now, it feels wrong.
It does. It does. No, you're right. Absolutely. I'm glad you said something about his outfield defense, because I've been watching it and I just haven't been really impressed, and I thought maybe it was just me. So I'm sort of glad that somebody else has noticed that as well. Just it's better than what we saw from Teo Hernandez last year, but it is not, I thought, what we were hoping to get out of him defensively in right field. So yeah, I don't know if it's him getting. I'd say it's him getting used to playing in a new outfield at Dodger Stadium, but he's been there before. He's been to Coors. He's been to Oracle Park. So it's not that they're all brand new. It just, I don't know if this is part of if the offensive slump is affecting him defensively or what, but I haven't really seen anything that has blown me away from him in the outfield so far. So maybe it's nitpicking. Yes, the chat is noticing that I sort of hinted at something. Yeah, in the text chain, I asked Greg if maybe, because he was frustrated. We're all frustrated with Kyle Tucker right now. Kyle Tucker's frustrated with Kyle Tucker. I asked if maybe he'd be the villain. There's been no definitive verdict on that. No definitive verdict. But
I mean, he can be your villain too. Like last year, you had one. I forgot.
That's true. Who was my villain last year?
I don't remember who it was, but you had one last year. We found.
It was Kirby Yates last year.
Oh yeah, it was Kirby Yates. That's right. You hated Kirby. I loved it. It was so fun to watch.
It was so frustrating. so annoying.
I mean, he can be your. If you want to have Kyle Tucker be your villain, like right now, it's just too early, I think, for any of us to really pick that person. But sometimes, it feels like you should pick that person early to let the reverse jinx really sink in and allow it to work its magic. Didn't work for Kirby Yates. Didn't really work for Michael Conforto either. So that was a bust of a year last year. But I'm watching Kyle Tucker right now. He's at the top of the list, but he's not yet. Like he's at the top of the list, but he's not there just yet. And I think part of it too is because before Kyle Tucker got signed, I spent the entire time whenever we would talk about him on the air with Mason Ireland, with Stano Cap, with DeMarco and Travis, it was, you don't need Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is a luxury and not a need. It feels like a guy like, okay, now you got him, like great, but it's not someone that was necessary. And there was talks about how he was in the dugout, how he was in the locker room, how he was in the clubhouse, and it wasn't great. And now we're seeing it live and in person, watching it every single day. Who knows? I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about Kyle Tucker, but just from the eye test, it looks like he's not great in the clubhouse just because of a solid demeanor. He sits by himself. He doesn't get involved in a lot of things. Even when, who was it? It was Andy Paez he had a home run. And
it was kind of like
he just like walked right through it with no emotion whatsoever. I don't know. These are just things to watch. It's early. These are things to watch.
They're things to watch. I sort of wonder at some point, does he have a big Dodger moment, right? Because I don't know if he's had a huge, true welcome to the Dodgers moment. And will that sort of help? I mean, because that's been one of the defining characteristics of this team during this run, especially in the last, 5 or 6 years, is their ability to bring not just players in, but bring in, star level players and have them sort of assimilate into the ball club, right? And just kind of become part of the family a little bit. I still go back to the fact that Shohei was sort of a mystery for all those years in Anaheim. He comes here and now he's, we get to see the many faces of Shohei. I love the faces and the memes and that sort of thing. Like he really has become a big part of the group where he was sort of in his own galaxy down there with the Angels. So maybe that happens for Kyle Tucker at some point and hopefully sooner than later because, this offense is going to need him at some point during the season. So hopefully that sort of happens.
Hopefully. And just real fast in the chat, JF is saying, don't single him out. He's playing, he's going bad, but the whole lineup ain't on fire though. Yes, you're right. We're not trying to single, but we talk about everybody. We talk about everything that's going on and have talked about other guys. The thing about Tucker and why he is someone that we talk about at a higher level, he's making $60 million a year. But with how it works with the luxury tax, that number is actually up to 110 million about that he's being paid for year by year with the luxury tax. So you're expected to be at a much higher level because of who you are and what you're being paid. So that's why this is it's focused on Tucker right now because of where he is in the lineup, how he's playing defense, how he looks and everything else, and the amount of money he's making. Now we're going to talk about everybody else too. We started this off by saying that Andy Paez is 3 for his last 19 after how hot he was. We're going to talk about this every single day, 5 days a week. We have to focus on little things.
Focus on something. I mean, we can go up and down the lineup. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez is on the struggle bus right now. Max Muncy had the huge game, a huge series in Colorado and hasn't really produced since, I guess in the 2 games since they left Denver. It definitely goes everywhere. I think for me, the Kyle Tucker thing is more that what we have seen from him in the first month of the season is just really out of character with the player he has been and the player he was advertised to be. You talk about his lack of walks, that the strikeout rate is really up. So the pop-ups, the ground outs, that's really frustrating. The strikeouts are what's frustrating to me because that's just not who he was supposed to be. But that's kind of what we got right now. But yes, it's April 23rd.
Right.
They have played 24 games. Let me do the quick math. That means there's 136 games left. A long time. So things can certainly turn around there.
Do you think that we can get either, there's Tim is back there and Carl is usually back there. We should have a blinking sign that comes up on everything. We understand it's still early.
Right.
We're doing nitpicking.
Yeah, we should just put the date below. It's still April. It's still early May. Whatever. We should do something like that for sure.
Shohei?
Yes, I was gonna say, let's talk about something good. Yes, the Shohei streak ended, but Shohei on the mound continues to be fantastic. 6 innings, still or did not give up a run, so still has given up just 2 runs all year. Only one of those earned so far this season, an ERA of 0.38. That's ridiculous. And so yes, the offense sputtered. The reason that was, I think, more the reason they lost. The reason they lost wasn't pitching. It wasn't even Jack Dreyer giving up a 3-run homer to Patrick Bailey. I mean, that didn't help. But Greg, the pitching was overall, I thought, fine last night.
No, the pitching was great. I mean, yes, Dreyer's fastball was getting smacked around. Yeah. He came up. So they were talking about on the broadcast. He was hitters were 1 for 16 against his fastball coming into this. And the first 2 batters that he faced hit his fastball for singles. And then he got just destroyed on a slider after throwing 5 in a row and just hung 2 of them in a row. And he smacked it out. The biggest thing is, we were talking about Shohei. I'll get back to it in a second, but it's what I'm blaming is Joe Davis. Joe Davis.
The little announcer jinx.
The announcer jinx. He said he was talking about how he hasn't hit his fastball, his ERA, and then he goes, Patrick Bailey is one of the worst hitters in the major leagues, and then he hit a home run. I was like, oh man, that's fully on Joe right there. That was you, Joe. But Shohei was on the mound, has been everything that you want him to be. I think it's him or Jose Soriano are the 2 best pitchers in baseball right now, because for the Angels, the dude just doesn't give up runs. But then neither is Shohei, and he's using his pitch mix. He's throwing 100 like it's nothing. It looks effortless out there. He looks very comfortable. He looks like he's not worried about his Tommy John anymore. Yeah. He's just throwing now, and he is a pitcher. So 4 of his starts, he's gone 6+. So you can't be upset with anything that Shohei is doing. He's being really efficient with his pitches too. Keeping his pitch count down. He could have got another inning if that last inning he didn't get a little bit stressed out and have runners on second and third. But he has been very, very good on the mound. Now Dave Roberts is saying that he's not going to hit every time he pitches anymore. So that's going to be something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, this could be maybe they're willing to admit it, maybe they aren't. Maybe this is just the opportunity for him to chase the Cy Young a little bit, see if he can focus on the pitching side of things once every 6 days. I can't imagine it's going to be every time he pitches that he doesn't hit. Obviously, he DH'd last night, so I'm curious to see how they balance that, but he's been fantastic. By the way, while you were talking about Shohei, I went and looked, because remember, Patrick Bailey last year hit a big grand slam against the Dodgers to beat them, against Tanner Scott when Scott was going really, really bad. I would love to go back and hear because I feel like Joe Davis said something similar about Patrick Bailey. Maybe I don't know if Joe Davis was on the broadcast for that game, but I feel like there was something similar where it's like, yeah, this is a guy that you got to get out. Yeah, one of the worst hitters in the league. Yeah, it just felt like it was something similar. And then
boom,
slam.
Home run. Yeah,
grand slam. So I don't know.
This one was a 3-run shot that was the game-winning 3-run shot. So.
Yeah, Patrick Bailey, thorn in the Dodgers' side. That's not great. Anyway, through all of this, the Dodgers are 16-8. They are still tied for the best record in baseball, and overall, the outlook still very positive for this team. despite the fact that, they're going through a little bit of a hiccup right now. What I thought was sort of the dark cloud over this is that while they're trying to avoid getting swept by the Giants, now they have to deal with Logan Webb. But you were a little more upbeat as much as possible about that situation.
Yeah, so the Dodgers actually hit Logan Webb pretty good. If my mind is telling me the right stuff, he doesn't really typically pitch well against them. So this team is hitting 300 against Logan Webb with an 855 OPS. They have 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. Guys just hit him. Freddie Freeman 17 to 49 for 347. Teo is 7 for 22. Max Muncy's 9 for 35. Ohtani's 8 for 22 with 2 home runs. Muncy has 3 home runs. Pages hits him pretty well, 4 for 7. I mean, Will Smith is 8 for 35. He's just a guy that the Dodgers see well, even though he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. They just typically see him well. They've hit 374 on base. That means they're getting on base over and over against him and slugging really good against him. So for whatever reason it is, some guys just can't pitch to certain teams. And now I'm jinxing it, of course, but it's very much the Dodgers see Logan Webb very well over the time because when you see them over and over and over again, just typically hit it. Now, he also doesn't have a 7 ERA. So that just makes they're better against those types of guys.
I just look, man, it's like clockwork. You see a guy with an elevated ERA pitching against the Dodgers, at least personally for me, I get a little bit queasy because it seems like that guy turns into something great. That was the case with Tyler Mahle last night. 7 innings, just 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, no runs. The Dodgers shut out for the first time this year. It's just something about those guys with the balloon-like ERAs that they figure out how to shove against this team. I don't know what it is. I can't understand it. So, yeah, maybe having Logan Webb, having one of the better pitchers in the league on the mound, forces them to lock in.
I don't know what it is, but I'm going to call that the Marcas jinx from now on. Whenever there's a guy with a 7+ ERA, it is Marcas jinx.
All right.
I say it every time. You're right. You are absolutely correct. Every time you say it, but every time you say it, they do exactly what you want. So
yeah, I should go and look. I mean, I'm gonna look ahead and see there are no pitching probables for the Cubs series over the weekend, so I can't do that yet. Maybe tomorrow they'll have something up, so we'll see. Non-baseball news. It is NFL Draft Day. Excuse me. Happy Draft Day to everybody who celebrates. And ESPN LA at the Rams draft party,
yes,
correct?
Yeah. Rams. We will be at the Rams draft at Hollywood Park, not the casino, Hollywood Park, which is behind it around Sinopolis and Cosm in that back area back there. And we're going to be at the Mason Ireland. Actually, it will be Mason and Sua Cravens, and then DeMarco and Travis. And if you're listening to the morning show, we want Sedano and Cap right after this. Sean McVay is going to join us at 7:15 to talk about the draft. So lots of good things coming your way when it comes to the draft and ESPN Los Angeles.
Very cool. Yeah, the Rams pick at 13 tonight. Lock in because the Rams actually have a first-round pick. Doesn't feel like that happens very often. So there will be things for Rams fans to pay attention to on night 1 of the draft. So
I mean, unless they trade it, which is very, very possible.
Very, very possible. If Les F them picks Snead gets in his bag, then maybe they don't pick tonight. But I would expect. Well, they have 2 first-round picks. Thanks to
no, they got rid of one.
Oh, that's right. You're correct. They did. They got rid of one. You're right. So they're still at 13, though, so we'll see what happens tonight. In the meantime, the Dodgers back in action tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, 12:45, first pitch time from Oracle Park in San Francisco. The Dodgers trying to avoid the sweep. Tyler Glasnow getting the start against Logan Webb, so hopefully things can get back on a positive note before they head back home for a weekend series against the Chicago Cubs. But
now you have your top 3 pitchers. You had Yamamoto, Ohtani, and now Glasnow. Those are series you have to win.
Yep.
And moving forward, I mean, I understand obviously they didn't, and it's still early, blah, blah, blah. I'm so tired of saying it's still early. Those are series that you have to win. When you have your top 3 pitchers, those are series. Also, Blake Snell pitched last night.
Yes.
Doesn't seem like it went very well. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but apparently it was not the greatest for the single A Ontario Buzzers.
Yeah. Well, I once saw Randy Johnson get lit up in single A, and afterwards he said, if the team misses the playoffs by one game, you can blame me. So maybe they can hang this on Blake Snell if they don't make the playoffs. Who knows?
Just so everyone's aware, he's going to go at least 3 rehab starts, probably 4, and that would take you to the end of May, about when he's supposed to go. But he threw 32 pitches, 16 pitches. He threw 32 pitches over 2 innings and was pulled in this, actually over 1 inning. He was pulled in the second inning after throwing 16 pitches in both. He didn't retire any of his 4 batters faced in the second. 2 of those batters reached on errors.
Okay, well, so then the FIP may be a little bit better than it looked anyway. Anyway, that'll do it for us here on the Blue Review. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out. Thanks to Tim for production assistance. Stick around. The Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. But for Greg, I am Marcus. This is it. We will see you tomorrow, 6:30, 6:55, right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See ya.
See ya.